Hey, what's up? It's Randy and welcome back to another video. Now, right now, you're listening to the Movo UM6 dynamic podcast microphone. Now, I was excited to check out this microphone for a few different reasons. One, this is an XLR and USB combination microphone. It is USB-C, which is great. So you can use this without having an expensive interface. If you're just getting started, that's a great place to start. And we will check out the difference between XLR and USB and how they sound a little bit later on in the video. The second reason is they have this powered by Gaincast thing. I've never heard of Gaincast. It sounds great. This basically utilizes phantom power to add a bunch of gain to your signal at the microphone. Now, this is really cool because you don't need any sort of cloud lifter or additional boost to this microphone. It comes with a ton of gain. Actually, when I first plugged this microphone in, I wasn't getting any signal out of it, and as a dynamic microphone, I was a bit confused. I toggled phantom power and it started working, and I thought maybe there's something broken here, but we'll talk about the pros and cons of that a little bit later in this video as well. Now, the third thing that got me really excited is that this is advertised as a podcast microphone, and I'm always looking for a microphone that is really, really good for creating YouTube videos or podcasting or just basic voiceover stuff that I'd be happy to recommend to you guys. And I'm a little bit disappointed because I don't feel like this is a microphone that I could recommend as it stands right now, and I'll tell you why. Okay, so I have the UM6 on my boom arm again here, and I'm gonna test it out against about 5 other competitors that are in a similar price point. You'll have to ignore the state of my booming voice. I'm just getting over a bit of a cold here, so just ignore that, but we'll go through this. Now, right now, it's important to mention I have the low cut set to 120 Hertz because if I turn it off, take a listen to this noise. Ready? Now, I messaged the company about this and said, hey, I think there's a bit of a defect with the microphone. There's a lot of really, really low end noise. And they said it's because your gain is set too high. I can show you my gain here. If you look right below this fader, I'll see if I can get this to focus here. Right below the fader, you can see I have 38 decibels of gain, which is not a lot by any stretch, but also you can see my faders here. Look, I'm peaking right below -12. Now, I will say, if you just go ahead and put on that low cut that we just had, there's 100 Hertz low cut. Almost completely gone. If I bring it up to 120, I don't hear it at all there. So you can overcome this low end noise, but let's just make this a valid test and show you guys what this sounds like without a low cut on, which is kind of disappointing. Now, this is a bit of an aside here, but I do like when dynamic microphones that have the USB option give you a clean feed of the dynamic. It's basically a transducer to a cable to your XLR. That's it. There's no electronics happening. Because this microphone requires phantom power, it tells me that there's some circuitry going on here, and that's what's causing that humming. So I hope that's something they can address in future models. All right, let's take a quick listen nice and close here. Peter Piper packed a pack of pickled peppers. Peter Piper packed a pack of pickled peppers. And without the windscreen, Peter Piper packed a pack of pickled peppers. Peter Piper packed a pack of pickled peppers. And let's take a little listen to the off-axis rejection as you sort of move around the microphone. Hey, 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 check, 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 check 1, 2. You can kind of get a sense of what it sounds like if you're very animated. All right, and now you're listening to the Fifine K688 dynamic microphone. Now, this is also a USB/XLR microphone, which is great for people who are getting started with content. For obvious reasons, you can get started without an interface, which is great. Keep the budget down a little bit, and you can kind of hear how this microphone sounds as we go off axis. Quick check here. Peter Piper packed a pack of pickled peppers. This windscreen does really handle plosives quite nicely. Peter Piper packed a pack of pickled peppers. With the foam off, you can hear Peter Piper packed a pack of pickled peppers. Still decent, probably not usable, but Peter Piper packed a pack of pickled peppers. Peter Piper packed a pack of pickled peppers. The one thing I will say about this microphone, and this was in my review of this as well, is that the handling noise is absolutely abysmal, even just like touching the cable, or if you have your headphones plugged into the back of here, you can't move at all, or you're going to hear that creaking through the microphone. So something to note, I do think this handles the proximity effect pretty well. It doesn't get overly bassy, which is quite nice. Peter Piper packed a pack of pickled peppers. Pretty good. And this microphone here is the Feelworld PM1 dynamic USB and XLR combination microphone. This also does not require phantom power, nor does the Fifine that we just looked at. You can definitely hear that this microphone has a bit of an EQ curve to it. It's got that top end, and it also has that really low sort of radio welcome to blah, 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 kind of effect to it. The proximity effect is very accentuated with this microphone, which I kind of like. I do like being able to get really close to a microphone and pull that out if I want that sound. And you can hear some of the off axis as we sort of work our way around this microphone as well. I feel like this microphone deals with handling noise a little bit better than some of the other options. Peter Piper packed a pack of pickled peppers. Peter Piper packed a pack of pickled peppers. Peter Piper packed a pack of pickled peppers. I don't think that this microphone handles plosives quite as well as the Fifine does. I think the windscreen on that one is just a little bit superior. Peter Piper packed Yeah, this one seems to let through a little bit more, but overall, I do like the sound of this microphone quite a lot. And this microphone here is the Boya BY-DM500 dynamic microphone. This is not a USB microphone. It is only XLR. Check, check, check. And you can sort of hear, I do find this microphone has a bit of a honky range, right around, I want to say about 5, maybe 600 hertz. You can kind of hear it even when I breathe in. There's a bit of that range in that, oh yeah, I want to say about 600. Check, check, check. Hey, 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 hey. It's just a little bit honky, but I do find the tone of this to sound quite nice, especially in the top end. It's really flattering on those S's. Peter Piper packed a pack of pickled peppers. Peter Piper packed a pack of pickled peppers. Decent for plosives. Let's take off the shield. Peter Piper packed a pack of pickled peppers. Peter Piper packed a pack of pickled peppers. Also pretty good even with this off. And you can see that a lot of these microphones are sort of following the SM7B style of build with the yoke and the thick, chunky black body, but overall pretty good. And this mic here is the Maono PD100 XLR. This is a tiny, tiny little XLR microphone. It is not USB. This is only XLR, although they do have it in a USB only version as well. Tiniest little form factor, really bad with plosives. Peter Piper packed a pack of pickled peppers. You could probably get a little foam windscreen off Amazon for a couple of dollars that would likely fix this. Great for a form factor. I think it's a lot like the Rode Pod mic in that way. Just a really, really small, simple design, single-sided yoke on this. Overall, the build feels pretty nice and the sound is decent. We'll go off axis here. Check, 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 check. Hey, 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 hey. Testing 1, 2, 3. Peter Piper packed a pack of pickled peppers. And let's take a listen to Old Faithful here. This is the Shure SM58. Now, interestingly, this has such a flat response compared especially to like the Feelworld that has that big boost in the low end. This just really has such a natural sound. I totally get why this microphone has survived. And it's always $100. It's been $100 since the dawn of time. So this is a great option if you're looking for a great dynamic. I think a lot of people just avoid this because it doesn't look like a streamer microphone or anything like that, or a podcasting microphone, but the sound of it is darn good, especially if you were to put a little foam windscreen on the top of here. It would really sound quite nice and avoid all of those plosives. Let's go off axis here. Peter Piper packed a pack of pickled peppers. Peter Piper packed a pack of pickled peppers. Sometimes I just think more people just need to get a 58 because it's probably the right microphone that they're looking for. They just don't buy it because it doesn't look like a gaming microphone. But I think this sounds really good. Okay, for the real nerds who are still here, I definitely appreciate you. I thought that we could get a little bit into the weeds and I can show you a little bit more about this audio issue because I think that this is something that would make this a bit of a deal breaker for me personally. So I wanted to show you what this looks like. So I've got this audio file here in Isotope. Now this is the entire microphone test that we just listened to. And you can see here, I'm using the UM6 at the beginning. And you can see when I turn off the low cut, you can see that all of a sudden there's all this low end in here and it persists all the way through the recording. It's actually even there a little bit before I turned off the low cut. So we can actually zoom in on this noise here and take a look at it and see sort of what this is actually doing in our audio. And you can see here, it's basically 90 hertz. Let's call that just a little bit below 100. No, it's 100 hertz, 100 hertz and below. So it's not like a 60 hertz cycle, like a ground issue or anything like that. This is, I would think, some sort of a digital issue happening here that's causing that noise. But like, look how persistent it is all the way through the recording. So I thought that we could do sort of the Curtis Judd practical noise example where we take the loudness control as well as the waveform stats. Now, right now the waveform is sitting at an integrated loudness of -25. So it's pretty close to -23. We want it to be at -23 LUFS. So I'm going to go ahead and run this process on it. It's going to run it on all of the dialogue, including the silence. And there we go. Now we can see our total integrated loudness is -23 LUFS. Now I'm going to highlight a section of this silence. And I'm going to look for a spot where it's actually truly silent. I think my chair might have been creaking there, something like that. So let's grab this section here because it's actually very quiet. And we want to see this sitting total RMS below -60. And this is sitting at -40, almost -40, 41. So like 19 decibels of noise beyond what I would consider to be acceptable. So this would be a really, really poor performing microphone when it comes to self noise. This self noise is, I would go as far as saying it's not usable. So I really hope that this is something that they can address with a firmware update or something like that, because as it stands right now, I couldn't recommend this microphone in good faith. Now, this is an example of the USB sound signature with this microphone. So right now I'm running USB-C directly into my computer and into Pro Tools. And I'm noticing the sound is a little bit different. It's a little bit more honky. I think I would have to say a little bit more kind of more mid-range present. I actually quite like the sound profile. Check, check, check. Hey, hey. Testing 1, 2, 3. I think the S's are a little bit less significant. Yeah, they're a little bit darker, which I quite like. Again, I actually prefer the USB sound almost on this microphone for sort of a YouTube gaming type situation, I think it sounds pretty good. Some other cool features about this microphone, it has, the first time I've ever actually seen this is a detachable, sorry if that was loud, a detachable magnetic pop filter, sorry, I should not say P when I have this off. Now, I did speak to another creator, Obscure Mics, who also reviewed this microphone, and he said that he didn't have this noise issue with his microphone. So I'm hoping that this is just a bad defective unit. It's important to me to review the microphone as it shows up to me. That's kind of the way I have to review it, like any other consumer would. And that's really important for me to make sure that I'm giving that information to you guys. If they fix this, I think it's an incredible sounding microphone. I really, really like the tone profile of it. It's just, I can't recommend a microphone with that much noise.